Hello, everyone, and good morning. Hi, Brandy. Good morning. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I had a little bit of Zoom difficulty, so if you got kicked out, and I am so sorry. We're here now, though, ready to go. So just real quick, I'm Crystal Hinkle. I'm part of the team here at Syncro. I'll let the ladies introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brandy, part of the team here at Syncro as well. I missed you guys.
Oh, I can't hear you, Hannah. It's one of those end of the week things where, you know, technology fails us a little bit.
There we go. Hi, everyone. I am Hannah, and I'll welcome everybody. Thanks for joining, and welcome back, Brandy.
Yay! Welcome back, Brandy.
It's been a long time with the holidays for everyone, right?
It's been a long time, which is probably why, like, you know, I can't run Zoom this morning. Mute. But we will get through this together. Anyways, thank you all for joining Open Office Hours. If this is your first time joining, welcome. We use the Q&A. So if you have any questions, just pop that question right into the Q&A. We'll organize those and get to them as we can. If you're joining again, thank you so much. We love doing these. Welcome back. And yes, like Brandy said, hope everyone had a great season of celebration and happy 2021 and all of that good stuff. But we have an exciting guest for you all today. So I'd like to introduce Jahmaul. He's part of our technical support team. So if Jahmaul, you want to hop in, there you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for Syncro.
Hello, again, my name is Jahmaul Holmes, and I'm on the Syncro technical support. So when you send in tickets or when you call, I respond to those tickets and help you with phone calls.
Awesome. Well, and we're very thankful for you, Jahmaul, because yes, the technical support team definitely helps us out, and it's nice to have you on the call. And so like I said, I'm just going to pop Q&A out. I like to put this on a different screen. So if you see me looking in a different direction, I'm not ignoring, I'm just probably going through that queue. We will use the chat internally if we want to send you a link or anything like that. And we kind of give you the heads up that if you don't click that link while you're in this call and kind of save that link, it'll disappear when we end this session. The other thing worth noting is that I did remember to hit record. So we are recording. This does get posted on our YouTube channel. So if you want to catch up on other ones, or if you have to leave halfway through, whatever it might be, you can find those on our YouTube channel, as well as like a ton of other awesome stuff. And so don't be shy. I always say this, and I didn't say it at the beginning. It does not matter what question you have. It does not matter if you have never looked at Syncro, you're testing out Syncro, you're a payer, you've been using it for a year. We don't care. Whatever questions you have, pop those into the Q&A, and we'll happily grab those and do our best to answer. So I see some rolling in. So go ahead, Brandy.
Awesome. So Cliff is asking, how do we edit the subject line on email templates? It looks like we can only edit the body of the template. So you're right. Currently, you can only edit the body of the template, but I do just want to show, since there's only one other question in here, for those of you who don't know that you can do this, if you just go into the admin section and you go to PDF and email templates, any of your different templates, you can come in here and you can customize. So you just go to edit and you can use the different template tags in here, just depending on which type of email it is. So you can do this for ticket templates, email templates, invoice templates, things like that. Editing the subject line is a very heavily requested feature, I will say,
though. Awesome. Thank you, Brandy. Okay, I'm going to read this out loud. I'm going to give it my best attempt. And then I also think that if anyone out here, that's another awesome thing about the Q&A. I think you can see what other questions there are. And if there's anyone in the community that has some experience in this one. So Mitchell says, I need to run a script to check and see if a particular application is running. Is there a way to quickly view the output off all the machines when running a bulk script? I am currently working on a script that uploads the results to an AWS database for this purpose, but will be useful in the future as well. So what I was going to do, I'm going to go ahead and my tools are in a weird spot. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just share my screen because it's worth just showing you, like, when you're looking at your scripts, you will be able to see, like, I guess you'll be able to see the last time that it was run, essentially. So you'd be able to like see scheduled runs and see if it was scheduled, like this one has 11, you'd be able to click into those and see which ones they've ran on. You can also get like a script failure notification in your notification center, but it doesn't, I think it's a little bit more of a feature request to be able to see like in like a real clear way. One thing I was curious about when you're talking about something running, oh, I guess it's an application. So if it's not a process or service, because I was just going to recommend if it's a process or service that you want to make sure that keeps running using your policy and set up a process and service monitor, because you can do some automations that if something stops running, you can have it automatically start running and even create an RMM alert for you. So that would give you another set of visibility there. But again, if I don't know if that would work if it's an application. So just offering a little bit there. So let me go ahead and stop sharing and let Brandy take over.
Yeah, I actually have two questions that I was going to grab that kind of have to do with the same type of thing with reporting. So the first one is going to be from Cody. He's asking about a list of installed apps from a customer. So let me just share that with you really quickly. If you just head over into the report section, if you go to RMM and software inventory, you can just type in a customer's name here and it's going to give you a list. It's also going to let you know how many devices have that particular app installed. So hopefully that one helps you. And remember, that's under the RMM reports. And then Chad's asking, is there a report as part of the executive report builder or otherwise that can show metrics for third-party patching? I'd be interested in something that looks like the Windows update reports, the patches installed versus not installed. So there's not going to be something that's exactly the same. I will say in terms of like third-party patching, one of the reports that I like to use or installed applications is if you go to the asset activity audit report, and if someone knows of something different, maybe something's changed recently, but you can come in here and you'd also be able to see like software installed, updated, and uninstalled, and you can run this and filter by customer too. So again, that's the asset activity audit.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see here. I'm going to read this one out loud from Robert. When creating monthly reoccurring invoices, is there a way to add a monthly title? For example, I need the invoice to say charges for the month of February 2021, then the next month say March 2021, without manually changing it. So I don't think that's a template tag in this. I don't think you can say change the subject line for invoices. So I think at this point that would be a feature request. I have heard it before. Definitely sounds like maybe something we could look at for like the community driven track, because I have heard that one for sure. Let's see. I'm gonna grab a couple other. Cliff, when clicking on assets in RMM to get a total list of assets and then magnifying glass on the left for saved asset search and then selecting a saved search, my list updates to those that match that search. How do I export that list? So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here because again, you get to enjoy some live demoing because I just want to make sure that if I go to a saved asset search, so let's look at Office 365, for example. I could have swore that this, yeah, you can export that here. You can export that list here. So hopefully that helps. I'm not sure if that's what exactly you meant. All right. Any brave takers on a couple of these? Yeah, I'll grab it.
Yeah, I wanted you to grab that one.
So backups. We don't have a specific date. We know that we gave you a couple where we thought it was going to happen before the holiday break. And now we're still kind of having some folks on the team where we don't have a full stack technical support or dev team right now. We've still got a few people we want to make sure that we have all hands on deck. So although I can't give you a specific date, I don't ever give specific dates when it comes to features anyways. That's about kind of all I'm going to be able to offer on that one. Go ahead, Brandy.
Yeah, Mark had just kind of a follow-up question to the installed apps report. So I was showing how it'll tell you like which apps are or how many devices it's installed on. It does not say which PC it is, but let me just go ahead and share my screen with you real quickly. You would have to drill down into the individual PC. Now, if you do open that up, you can go to a list of installed apps on this particular device too. A couple other pieces while we're here, since there's not a lot of questions, but you can see your installed apps on a device level. One other thing you could do is if you want to go to the assets in RMM out to the left, for those of you who don't know this is here, it's awesome anyways. It doesn't just pertain to this question. So I would pay attention to this part, are going to be your saved asset searches, and you can use installed applications as one of the criteria here. You can also use property conditions, custom fields, operating systems, policies, a lot of different options here. You can script, you can build dynamically, you can send mass emails, you can send mass broadcast messages. So if you needed to see everyone with a certain installed app and send them a broadcast message and say, hey, you know, leave your device on tonight, I need to do some updating or whatever it is, then you could do that. So just a couple different ways that you could look at installed apps.
Thanks, Brandy. That was awesome. Joseph has a question. Do you have a how to use Syncro CRM? And so I can go ahead and show you a couple of modules that we have. And so one of them is the leads module. This would need to be enabled in the admin section. But within here, that when you have emails come into your support at your domain or help at your domain, that you can go ahead and process them as a lead. So if we go ahead and hit process to look at that, we can go ahead and create this lead as a new customer or attach it to one of our existing customers. You can process this lead as a ticket and go ahead and move it through a particular sales funnel. So if it's new or an opportunity or a negotiation or whether it's won or lost, you can set appointments, go ahead and put in attachments. You can email an SMS and then even merge as well with another lead. We also have a mailer module, and to which you can go ahead and set up drip campaigns for your existing customers or even new leads. And so when we have automatic triggered mailing, you can mail when a particular day since the ticket has been closed or since the customer has been created. You can send out a one-time blast mailing, and then you can create those saved customer searches as well. And then you can even set up drip campaigns based off of saved asset searches. And then you can create what needs to go out. And then we have very helpful template tags for you here as well.
Yes,
Go ahead, Jahmaul. Go ahead.
I want to respond to the response from Cliff Peterson that expert literally does what it says. That experts all, not the ones matching the filter. Yeah, we have been made aware of that issue, and our development team is currently working on correcting that issue. So it should be working soon.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, Jahmaul. Yeah. Sorry, I guess I didn't answer that question right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dawn says, I currently live in a spreadsheet where I enter my time quickly, switching between customers and tasks. I find entering billable hours in Syncro clunky. How can I accelerate this process? So I will what I'm going to do here is, I guess in this particular instance, I think it really depends on your workflow, because within a ticket in Syncro, there's several ways that you can track your time. But I mean, that would require that you're actually in the ticket. So for example, and since we're just kind of starting out, so we have a little bit of time, I just want to show like there's multiple ways that you can track your time. So one being play, and it's going to start your timer. Stop is going to add this as a labor line item. You can also view this log, and you can manually say, like, instead of entering that into your spreadsheet, you can enter that here. Now I have my account set up, as you can see, it's automatically charging that time by default, meaning it's turning these line items into a pending ticket charge. So if I were to convert this ticket to an invoice, or if I had a recurring invoice that says add any pending ticket charges, these line items would be pulled automatically. I don't have to take any other extra step to hit charge time. Of course, you can set your account up that it's opposite of that, where your logging time so that you're tracking it for reporting purposes, but you wouldn't want it to necessarily show up on an invoice. So you can create your account settings the way that matches your workflow the best. So that's the second way you can track time. Third way, if you're communicating with your customer anyways, like letting them know something happened or just making notes in your ticket, and you want to put that time here, you can quickly add that to the tickets from the communications log. And then the last way, and probably the longest way to do it from an actual ticket, is from here. Like if you wanted to like start to type in labor, like you could do it that way. Again, this is like, in my opinion, the least efficient way to do it. But there's a couple other things that I wanted to mention. So say you're just, you're flying through, you're doing a bunch of things. Maybe you're running a script, for example. The other thing that I thought would be worth mentioning is, and again, this is all dependent on your workflow. So if when, you're experiencing clunkiness, if it's regarding the UI and you have some suggestions on ways that you think it would run more efficient for you, please let us know. But the other thing that I wanted to show you in regards to adding time to your ticket is you can use the Powershell module. So if you wanted to actually add like 30 minutes to a ticket, so say you have, this is my favorite way, so you're not even having to manually do anything. In an automated remediation, you could have an alert come in, have it automatically create a ticket, run a script to remediate the issue. Maybe it's clean up temp files, but then you could have this Powershell module script included in that's automatically logging time for you. So just wanted to throw that one out there. Again, that was a long answer, but hopefully helpful. I think I grabbed a couple other ones that I was going to answer just because they were quick. I was just going to say, for Mel, are you integrated with Acronis? No, we are not. I think it kind of got mentioned earlier, we are going to have a fully built-in backup solution. So as of right now, I don't know if we have any plans to integrate with Acronis. We do have an open API. I know that there's interesting things you can do with that. And then Datto API integration for monitoring. So we have a full RMM built into Syncro. So we don't have any plans to integrate with Datto for monitoring. You can always, use maybe an API to create tickets within Syncro, maybe. But we don't have any plans to integrate with Datto for monitoring specifically. Oh, I grabbed one more. I might as well just say this. Thank you, David. For the invoice question, this won't solve for putting in your reoccurring invoice the date in the actual subject line. But if you can add like a billing period range. I'll copy paste this and put this in the chat just so, or maybe I'll try. Anyways, I'll put that in the chat. So that if you did put on a line item, you could say like billing date and then have the template tag. So you could do that. And thank you, David. I will put that in the chat box. Are you up, Jahmaul? Is that next? I can't tell.
Yeah, I can ask one. I think it was from Scott. I'm using RevRoot, Bitdefender, and MCSoft antivirus integrations. Today, I received a message that the antivirus was disabled for one of my agents. I connected to the client and the MCSoft was disabled as the license expires. Is there an extra step I am missing? No. What you actually need to do, Scott, is email us so we can correct that on the back end. We have to go and then kind of like renew that license.
Awesome. I can go ahead and take a couple that are in here. One is, oops, it looks like they get kind of moved around here when we answer them. David is asking, can I add columns to the software inventory report? Currently, you cannot add any additional columns to that report. And then Scott is commenting on time tracking and just said the Harvest app is great for time tracking. I'm not familiar with that one, but thank you for that. And we are happy to pass that along to other MSPs here. And then Jeff is also asking, in the ticket labor log, is there a way to edit entries after they've been made, or do you have to delete and recreate? So let me just show you a couple things, because some things can be edited. So if I click into view log, You'll notice I can't edit anything when I already have the time selected as charged. And I want to be clear, that doesn't necessarily mean the time is charged literally when you click that. So it just means it's going to be a billable charge. And we do get a lot of questions about that. If I just clear this charge, you're going to notice that now I can change the duration. This one was made from the timer. And then I can also change the notes here. I can change the labor rate as well. This one was made from just entering manual time. And so again, I can change that. I'm not able to change the date and time right here, but I can change the duration. I can change the notes. I can also change the different rate here. So hopefully that helps.
Thank you, Brandy. That was awesome. Okay, we have one here from Jeremy. Is there a way to generate a list of email addresses for the contacts associated with the assets in a saved asset search? Current use case, I'd like to be able to email everyone supporting Windows 10 1903 to notify them that we'll be upgrading them to 20H2 over the weekend. If not, could this be achieved using Mailer and Syncro? So actually, Jeremy, you're going to use both. And so let me go ahead and share my screen. So you would want to go ahead and set up a custom field onto your asset. So we'll just go ahead and select that. Sorry, my internet is going a little bit slow today. But on your assets, you could go ahead and create that custom field that said that the asset was currently supporting the Windows 10 1903. And then from there, you would want to make sure that you have the correctly assigned contact to that asset, as you've mentioned. And then back on your assets page, you would use that quick view modal to go ahead and do a new search. And then go ahead and use you could use either a checkbox or a dropdown, but you would go ahead and select the correct custom field and then go ahead and save that under a specific display name. And then when you are in your mailer option, just go into there. You would go ahead and create that one. And then as you're editing that, you could go ahead and select it by optional customer search or list, and then select that saved RMM asset search.
Sweet. Thank you, Hannah. Okay, Michael, I'm going to read this one out loud. When I invoice a ticket that has a resolved status, after it has been invoiced, the status changed to invoiced, which I consider a perfectly valid status and I'd like to see stay. Problem is, Syncro considers a ticket with a status of invoiced as an open ticket. It's not really an open ticket. It's been invoiced, it's closed, it's done, etc. Yeah, I agree with you. I would have to test to make sure like that flow. I don't know. I guess I'm curious, like if it hits resolved and then invoiced, does it still say open after it goes to invoiced? Or if you're saying if it wasn't resolved first and you invoice it before you had resolved it, that I guess I would probably have to test the flow, but I can definitely, if that is what's happening, definitely see that as a valid feature request to be able to update that. Let's see. Could you create multiple names connecting to a customer? So I'm going to answer this the best that I can, just because I think this could have a couple of different meanings, but I'm just going to go to trusty Larry here and just show. So, because you can see this here, Larry's business, this is what I name like the overall customer name. Then I have contacts where I can actually have, like, I have Larry Legend. I'm assuming maybe he's the business owner. He's my main point of contact. So you can put different people that are associated, especially like in a flow where you'd want tickets, generated and associated with a contact. You can import your contacts and things like that. So hopefully that answers your question. You can also have email rules as well. So if someone emailed you and you wanted it to behave in a certain way based upon the domain, you definitely can do that as well. So hopefully that answers your questions. If that didn't answer your question, please let me know. And then let's see here. Chad wants to know, is there any roadmap for future integrations that I could keep an eye on, or a place I could suggest new ones? So great question, Chad. We're actually working on a lot of integrations right now. We do market those widely once they're released in our app center, but to request them, you can do that a lot of different ways. I mean, you can throw it in our Facebook page. We have a new Reddit forum as well. We're going to have more of an official forum coming soon, but you can also email help@syncromsp.com too, to suggest that integration. We also have integration partners reaching out directly to us. And so if you have any sort of direct contact with an integration partner that you're wanting, you could email someone directly with CC to that company. We can get you to the right people. And I'm talking a lot. I'm just going to grab one more while I'm unmuted. I'm going to read this one out loud. And if anyone in our panel knows the answer, or if anyone out there knows the answer, I'm going to read this out loud. Can you talk about sales tax? We have customers that are tax exempt and marked as such in their record, but when parts are added, the parts show as being taxed, but tax isn't added to the invoice. However, if you don't manually mark the actual parts as tax exempt, QuickBooks Online shows invoices as not fully paid because tax was added to parts when synced across. Just wondering if I'm missing a setting in Syncro to automatically have parts added be tax exempt when customer is exempt, or tax exempt clients need parts also marked as tax exempt manually. So yeah, that I actually don't know. This would be my normal go-to for this question would be to just verify. We have QuickBooks specialists on our tech support team, and I would probably refer you that way. But like I mentioned, if there is anyone that has had this issue and have dealt with it or anything like that, please feel free to pop it into the Q&A. Okay, phew, who's next?
I can go ahead and take some. I've got quite a list in here too. So, okay, Nathan, this is going to be a little workaround, but we're going to do this together. So a question on the agent form. By default, you have to pick a ticket type. Are there any plans to allow the users to select the issue type? I get this question very often. What I would recommend you do, because currently they can't like go to their portal or choose the specific ticket type. If you head over into your policies, and I'm going to show you guys how to set these up. If you go to your agent contact forms, and I'm going to show a couple different things here. So you can create multiple different agent contact forms, and you can have it say whatever you'd like. So if you really want them to be able to choose what type of ticket or issue type, you could name it like printer. And then you could have another one that's called like emergency, and another one that's called, I don't know. You can have as many of these as you would like to. And then you can have it when you set up the different agent contact forms, it can fire off separate automations for you. And then what happens is when they go to their system tray icon, you can make multiple different agent contact forms available to them. So although the agent contact form and emergency ticket are going to look very similar, in the back end, it's going to trigger different automations for you guys, for the technician. So this is just a kind of a workaround of being able to allow them to feel like they're choosing what the issue is. I don't know. That's just my workaround. It seems to work for most people. So it's not a drop down, but it at least gives them a different option there. So I would utilize agent contact forms, and I can drop the KB here in a few minutes on agent contact forms for you guys. And let's see here. Okay, Brianna, so I've asked this a lot of times. Okay, so you're talking about the billing contact. You want to specify who is the billing contact on the account. So that's who your invoicing is going to go to. So actually, if you pull up a customer and you go over to their contacts, this isn't something we've always had. I don't know, it's been probably a couple months, but if you pop over into the contacts under this particular customer, you can choose who is going to be receiving the billing emails. So this would be on a contact level rather than the main point of contact. So that's what I would do. And if you don't want anyone else receiving those, then obviously don't select those here. But this is also another place that you guys can specify who's going to be getting reports and who's going to be getting the marketing emails. So hopefully that helps a little bit. And Donna is asking about the asset search. I'm not 100% sure I understand this question, but I'm just going to show it to you anyways. So that asset search list is on the left side of the window. How do you make that appear? I don't know if this is what you're referring to. So if I go over to assets in RMM, these saved asset searches, I'm assuming. So if you see this little quick view button, you can just click on that and then you see the searches. Now, these are just searches I've already created. If I go to new search, you're going to be able to come in here and specify your different conditions. And then if you want to like view those devices, you can either pop this out or you can select saved searches here. There's two different ways. Everyone's a little bit different. I like to use the left. Some like to use this one. But for example, if I want to take a quick glance at everyone who has Google installed, I can just select those devices. Now my little dashboard here is going to update with just those 16 devices, and they're going to be listed here. I can select those in mass, and I have some mass options here too. So hopefully that helps. If that's not what you're referring to, just let me know and I'm happy to dig into it a little bit further.
Okay, I guess I can go next. I have some tickets, some questions I guess I can answer. So I got one from Michael. A resolved ticket gets reported as closed, an invoice ticket is reported as open. I got this as backwards. And I think the rationale behind that may have been like, when you invoice a ticket doesn't necessarily mean it's resolved because you may be waiting on the user, the customer to pay the invoice. Reasoning, I guess, why it's still in the resolved status. But I do know that our development team is currently working on some improvement as far as the statuses. So that's currently being worked on. Let's see. Okay, and this one is from Jeff Hughes. And I guess I'll share my screen with this. Let's see. So this one you're asking, when we sort tickets by status, is there a way to sort the new ticket status above all the others? And depending on how many statuses you have in there, it may sort differently, but one thing you can do, like, so I have all the statuses selected. So it groups all, you can group all the statuses together. So like if you hit this status button, it'll group all the statuses together. So it may be easier for you to go through. And when I hit it again, so if you hit it again, now I got all my new ones here. So that may be a way for you to do that easier. Let's see here. I think I got one more, I guess I can answer. Okay. Let's see. Okay, and this one is from David Phillips. I want to exclude a client contact from any email, not a whole client, just that single user. Is that possible? And currently, that is not possible. But as a workaround, what you may want to do is you can delete that user's email address. That way they won't receive an email, but that would be a good feature request. And I will add that as a, maybe a future feature update for us.
Awesome. Thanks, Jahmaul. Okay, I'm going to grab from Manuel. Hi, I enabled the trial version of Bitdefender, and when I switched to the paid version, all the trial endpoints showed up as a Bitdefender installed, matching to Gravity's own endpoint, and the asset is not listed in the Bitdefender portal. So with this one, we're gonna have to troubleshoot it. So if you can send in a ticket, we're gonna have to dive in and look into it a little bit further. I'm not able to give you kind of an on-the-fly answer on that one. Mel wants to know about auto-connecting names in the same domain. Yes. So this is where I was going to show, and I kind of flew past this. I probably should have showed it when I was talking about it earlier. If you're in your admin section, you can get to email domains in a couple different places. But if you go to email rules here, you'll see that for like Larry's Lamplighter, for example, I'll go ahead and just hop into this one. So you can say the email address, if it matches this domain, link it to this customer. And then in addition to that, you can have it auto create contacts. So not only will it know to create that ticket for that particular customer, you can go a step further and have it auto create that contact. So that hopefully that helps, Mel. I don't know if I picked anything else. All right, I'll let someone else go.
Okay, so Brianna has a question. She says, when I customize the columns within a certain category, so tickets, assets, etc., is that global or per user? So I'll just quickly share my screen to show you what she's referencing. So it's going to be these columns in terms of, is it going to be global or per user? And so from my understanding, it would be global. Am I correct?
It is global. You can set up like saved searches that are, or like a default search for a default view, if you will, per user, but everything else would be global.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then in terms of, I have one more in here. Where did it go? Okay. From Scott, I created several policies and assign the policies to my device. When I look at individual policies, I saw the devices that policy was assigned to. Unfortunately, it only shows 50 devices. Is there any way to see all the devices assigned to the policy? And so I'll show you what he's referencing first and then how to see all of them. And so what he's seeing is under your policies, when you're in a specific policy, that you're going to see a list of the policies or the assets that are applied with this policy. And so he's saying he can only see 50 of those. So another way that you could see them is under your assets in our RMM tab. I feel like we're getting a lot of good saved asset search work in today, but you could go ahead and hit new search. And then you can actually search by policy that you offer. And so with selecting which policy you want to see and then hitting save, it should show you all of the assets that have that specific policy.
Awesome. I'll go ahead and take a question real quick from Dawn about the how-to videos for ticketing and invoicing. I will drop those in the chat box for you. So we've got good stuff on ticketing walkthrough and recurring invoicing too.
Let's see. I don't think I've grabbed anything in a while. I was going to, let's see. Yeah, Cliff, we thought this was going to be a slow open office. I didn't actually think this was going to be a slow open office hours, although I will say I don't know if I drank enough coffee because there are a lot of questions, which is awesome. And we're appreciating this. This is going to be an awesome recording for future users. And so thank you so much. A lot of awesome feature requests as well. I thought I was grabbing one in regards to, Nathan. I was going to try to do this one on the fly, which is why I didn't actually grab it yet. But I was looking at the inbound email automation. I'm wondering if there is a way to action against email content and assign it to an asset, i.e. a NAS device will email me a notification. I can read it, let's say device name, and then want it to come in and be assigned to that asset. So I was just going to share my screen here. Let me go back here. So I was looking at ticket automations. I was also looking at email rules. I do know that like if the subject filter had a certain thing, you could like automatically assign it to a specific contact, but assets not included in that. In addition to that, I was just gonna, might as well show ticket automations anyways, because they're awesome. But as of right now in ticket automations, there's not assign to, it's not an asset. It's like that's assigned to a technician. So I don't really have a great way to do that other than being able to assign it to specifically a contact. Maybe the device is assigned to the contact. But I think this is a feature request at this point, Nathan, long and short of it. Mel, just really quick, could you convert a customer to a contact? There's not like a quick button to just like create contact. You'd have to just re-input that information. All right, who's next? Is Jahmaul up?
Yes, I guess I can take one here. I got one down here from, I don't want to mispronounce the name. I think it's Fuzzy. Okay, we have been experiencing Big Defender installation. It stays on hold, doesn't install. The first thing you may want to do, gather my thoughts. When troubleshooting that issue, is make sure there's not another antivirus on that on the asset, because that will keep it in a state where it holds. And then you may also want to take a look at the KB. So if you hit the help on from your Syncro application, if you hit the little help button in the top right-hand corner, you can go to the KBs and type in whitelist, and you may want to whitelist those domains, because I know sometimes that interferes with the Bitdefender installation.
Awesome. Thank you. I will go ahead and grab one. So Brianna is asking one more question, probably more of a feature request, but is there a way to clock into a ticket timer on the mobile app and then clock out of the same ticket on the laptop or computer? So that is a really great question. You would have to, if you were using the ticket timer, and I can go ahead and share my screen since there's not much in there for you guys. But if you are working on a ticket, there is the ticket timer option. You would need to make sure that you start and stop it on the same exact device. So if you're starting it on the right here on your desktop, then you'd want to go ahead and stop it here. You couldn't go into the mobile app and it be open, but all of your active timers would be up here so that you can come in and you can close those too. But if you started on the mobile app, you've got to end it on the mobile app.
All right, I'm gonna grab this one. Is there a way to automatically add a CC to each ticket per customer? One of our customers want to be notified every time someone creates a ticket, but they don't want to use the portal. What I was gonna show, please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to show the thing that I know, and then I'm going to add like this anecdotal thing. But in your contacts section, you see I've got all these contacts here. I have this direct report. If I put like myself here, anytime Brandy creates a ticket, I'm automatically CC'd on this ticket. That is a way to do it, and you can do that for like each of the contacts. One thing that I don't know, if the contact themselves create the ticket, does the main customer email also get the email by default? I don't know. Anyways, what I do know is this will work. So if you want Brandy's direct contact to be me, I will be CC'd automatically on any ticket that she creates. Let's see, was that it? Yeah, that's it from me.
I also wanted to mention to Jeremy, we're not ignoring your ticket, I promise, or your question, I promise. I really don't know the answer. So I'm waiting to hear, and I'm happy to mention it. And if anyone knows, feel free to chime in. It just says, can the create Syncro ticket PowerShell module override the don't email option? We can force it to email a notice that a ticket was created by the script on their behalf. So I truly have no idea, but I have posted it to our support team, and I hope to have an answer, but I just didn't want you to think that. Oh, JK, I just got an answer. So no, it cannot override. There's someone listening, I swear. I think there is.
All right, Jahmaul, do you have, did you answer Graham's question?
No, I haven't answered Graham's question yet. According to the KBs, currently the policies will not update the Windows 10 home basic computer. So you currently cannot update that through the policy.
Awesome. Okay, I kind of figured that was the answer. Thank you for grabbing that one. Okay, I think we're all looking through these tickets at this point. Okay, this one, Let's see. I'm going to just start reading some out loud. Let's see here. Oh, Jahmaul's going to grab this one. Okay, Brandy's going to grab that one. So the top two, Corey, Jeremy, give us a second to read through those. I'll let Jahmaul and Brandy hop in now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Jahmaul. Do you want to go ahead and grab that?
Yeah. So I have a question. Where is that? Okay. To second that, how do you make sure that the email is going to the person who submitted the ticket? So if I was trying to think this. Okay, so if the customer is creating the ticket through like a portal or something like that, you can assign like an asset to it. You can assign a contact to an asset, so that way when the ticket is created on that ticket will be associated with that asset. So you'll know who the customer is for that asset.
Okay, let's see. Brandy, did you want to grab?
Yeah. I can go ahead and grab this one here. So David is saying, back to my previous question regarding adding columns to the software inventory report. How can I see which device has what software to know whom to update? So that's a good point, because on that software inventory report, it just says the name of the asset. So what I was sharing earlier is really the only way to drill down to that is if you are looking for like a specific one, I would create a saved asset search to see the installed application, which devices have a specific installed application, and then you could select those and even sort by customer if you wanted to view just those devices, but it would take a little extra step to have a search for that. I agree, having another column or listing the assets would be really helpful.
Awesome. Corey, excuse me, I'm not sure if I understand the question. So let me read it out loud because sometimes that helps me. Since changing the email over to our domain from Syncro, the user that submits the ticket is no longer receiving our updates or completion notifications. It only goes to the main contact on the account. When you say changing the email over to our domain, meaning you are using mailboxes, and once you started using mailboxes, it's not, okay, so you set up mailboxes and now they are no longer, the contact themselves, just the contact is not receiving messages, but the main customer is. I have no idea why that would happen. If I'm honest, I'm not sure. I mean, we have settings in mailboxes to automatically create tickets. It should follow the same thing, just the person's email on the account. Okay, and you have do you have the contacts created and domain rules set up also? Meaning it's gonna, so if, okay, because if the contact is not created and you're using really anything, if the contact's not created and you're only using domain rules, I think it reverts to just the main customer. So I guess maybe verify that you have those contacts created. Otherwise, definitely, I would submit a ticket and like show a specific example. Hopefully that's helpful. Sorry.
Yeah, and Jeremy, I see your question in here, the mobile app about timers. I checked in at a client's yesterday and it started ticking. 90 minutes later, when I went to stop the timer, it wasn't ticking and the ticket shows check in. I thought it used to work like I did things. What did I do wrong? I'm really not sure. I actually was just checking on my mobile app. I just started, I checked in on a ticket and then I went back like 2 minutes later, which is why this was just sitting here and it's still ticking and there's an option to check out. I really don't know, other than making sure you for sure checked in. I don't know if there's something else. If you're experiencing that, I would test it again. With another ticket, maybe a test ticket. If you are experiencing that, maybe write to support. Mine's working properly, so it could just be something on the app with your account. I'm not really sure, but definitely do a test ticket to make sure that it's continuing to happen that way.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandy. Okay, Mel, could you install software without using remote? So let me share my screen. Few things that I'll show you. Yes. So when you say remote, I'm assuming you mean remoting into the device and using Syncro Live or something like that to install. So what I want to go to is a policy. So there's like a lot of different ways you can do this. So let me just, I'll start with my go-to. So on a policy level, especially if there's like an entire like customer base that you want to push a specific installation, we do have third-party application patch management. So if I just open this into a new screen, and we have made updates as well to this. So if I just create a third-party application patch management policy, you can see that you can install and update these ones right here. These are going to come just by default in any third-party application patch management policy. But you can also add anything that's in Chocolaty's repository, which is like 7,000 applications or something. So anything that you start to like type here, like if I want to install Zoom every single time, you can do that from here. So if the application lives in the Chocolaty repository, you could do that very easily and across an entire policy. The other thing that you can do across a policy, if it's some sort of like in-home type of software that you wouldn't find in Chocolaty, for example, you could do a setup script. And again, this is assuming that maybe you're running it across like an entire customer base. You could add an installation script to your setup script. So this is going to like whatever script that you put here, you can choose, you know, if you want it to always run, maybe check to see if it's ran in the past. So you have some options when you're initially installing Syncro. The last thing, and again, I'm getting a little bit long-winded, but I don't see anything in the Q&A, so I'm just going to go for it. The other thing you can do is like, say you already have Syncro installed. You don't want to necessarily add it to a policy or anything like that. You could create this like a saved asset search specifically. Like you could either search for all machines that do not have that application that you're wanting to install, and then you could go to that, whatever the saved asset search would be, and you can like select all once you do that, and then go to manage, and you could run a script that way. So you could use a script to mass install on a specific subset of devices. I think those are the main ways that I know how to do it without launching into a remote session. If I missed anything, let me know. Did I miss anything?
No, that was great.
Cool. All right.
Oh, I could take this one, Graham. How to implement the agent contact forms. I love agent contact forms. So I'm happy to share this one with you. So I know I just briefly touched on these, but I'll go a little bit more in depth. So if you go over into policies and you go to policy modules, this is where you can set up multiple different agent contact forms. So I'll just go ahead and create a new one in here. You could just put whatever you want to show up to that customer on their system tray icon. So remember, agent contact form, emergency ticket, whatever you want to show up as the option, you can put that right here. Now I can also add the company logo. You can either use your own account logo, or sometimes people like to personalize it a little bit more for their customer. So you could absolutely do that and put their logo there. And then you can choose like what you want the success title to be in the body of the message. You can also put in here the required fields. Now remember, if there's the contact assigned to the asset, it's going to auto populate that contact for you, which is nice. And then of course, if they don't have internet connection, then you want to put like an error message. So instead you could put a phone number because when they go to try to submit that, it's not going to work, right? So you could say, please call us directly. This is where I was talking about earlier that you can kind of use that option to allowing your customers to choose what type of a ticket it is. So you could use custom fields, you can use issue types. Maybe every single ticket that comes in from this customer is going to be assigned to a specific tech. This is where you can set those up. And again, you can have multiple different agent contact forms. Then when you go into your policies, you open up any policy, you can come down here and you can use your system tray menu. So you can choose, okay, agent contact form, this is what I want it to show up as, and then this is which form it actually is. So you can use these, and then your customers can go here, they can create a ticket, it'll even screen capture everything behind this screen, add as an attachment in the ticket. I always tell people that ease of use makes your customers happy. They're going to keep coming back. This is easy to use. It's less time than unlocking, using your Face ID on your phone, unlocking it, sending a text. I think it's way easier just to click here and submit a ticket. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. And Mel says, great, thanks. I am just 3 days into using the software. Welcome, Mel. We're happy to have you. Do you have recorded training? So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to put into the chat, if you have not already seen, oh, Hannah's all over it. Thanks, Hannah. We have a really awesome YouTube channel with a ton of recordings. I think if it looks like maybe Brandy, I think is your a point of contact too. And I know she has some awesome recorded videos that she could probably send to you as well. And those of you that are trialing Syncro, if you haven't had a product tour with your rep, please let us know. We're happy to do that. Let's see here. What else? Go ahead, Jahmaul. You're on it.
Yeah, if you just give me a second, I'm just getting to the screen regardless. But I have one from Corey. All emails coming into our inbox automatically get submitted to Syncro as new lead and a ticket. How do we control what is and isn't relevant? So so in your preferences, there's and I'm looking for this area. I'm looking for the area that you would uncheck, but it's an area where you're automatically creating tickets. I'll share my screen. I found it. Give me 1 second. So what's happening is in this area, I'm taking it that this is checking your account, create tickets from leads, which will automatically create a lead. When the email comes in, it goes into your leads, then it automatically creates the tickets. There's no way you can actually filter through the ticket, like filter through that if you have that check to figure out like what's relevant and what's not relevant. So someone will have to, you can uncheck that, and that will stop the leads from being turned into tickets. And then you can go through your leads manually and, figure out what's relevant and not relevant.
Awesome. Thank you, Jahmaul. And while we have like 3 minutes left and the Q&A is empty, I'm just going to take a moment. Oh, can you also provide an overview on scheduled invoicing? So I'm going to just show you where to find it. We've got a couple minutes. I'm just going to share my screen really quickly here. If you go to Invoices, Graham, we love all the questions. We love all of the questions.
Graham, while Crystal's showing that, grab the link that I sent in the chat a little bit ago on recurring invoicing, because this is exactly what she's talking about now, and that's going to go away here in a couple minutes.
Awesome. Yes, please do that. So scheduled invoices, you just go to Invoices, Invoice Modules, Recurring Invoice, you create a new schedule. I'm just going to pop into one that I already have created here. And the video that Brandy is sending you will give you kind of a deep dive on this, but this is where how you get there. You can choose how often you're billing, whether you're billing in arrears or in advance. You can add your billing terms depending on your billing model. If you bill time and material once a month, this is like the most amazing setting you'll ever find. It can automatically pull in any of those pending ticket charges. And then as you can see, you can do different reoccurring line item types. So the invoice line item, this is an example. This MSP is like an example of that. Like if it's a flat rate static line where you want to be able to edit the quantity and that kind of thing, that would be an invoice line item. These bottom three here, these are dynamic counters. So if you bill per endpoint, per contactor, you want to bill per a saved asset search or a saved policy, You can have a dynamic counter. As you can see now I can't edit this because it's based on, it's going out to the RMM or the PSA and counting how many either contacts you have or how many endpoints you have that are in that specified filter. So this is where you'd set up your reoccurring invoices. Brandy's video will probably be a lot more helpful than that like really, really quick thing that I just did. And yeah, Jahmaul, go ahead and grab that last one.
Yeah, so right, currently there is no way for like your customers to have access to their environments, like to see the information that you would see on a per customer basis. But I do know that that feature has been requested by several users and it has been submitted to the development team. So hopefully we'll be seeing that functionality, you know, in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because the only thing we have available right now is those single customer permissions. So if there was like an on-site IT person and you wanted to actually create a user for them, that's like, and then you could make sure they only see their environment. But yeah, like if you had a client that had 10 people working from home and they wanted remote session, you know, that we don't have built in. You could work around with, we have integrations with Screen Connect, TeamViewer, and Splashtop. So that's kind of the workaround for that. But it's 10:01 our time, not Jahmaul's time, our time. It's 10:01. So I just want to say thank you so much, Jahmaul, for joining us. This was awesome having you, super helpful. Please come back.
Yes.
Will do.
We really appreciate you joining us, and we appreciate all of our users joining us too. We love these. We look forward to them every Friday.
We do. Thank you so much. Have a phenomenal, safe, healthy weekend. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.